Yo, what's up guys, it is Seahawks area back with another video, and today's my week 4 NFL recap. All the games besides the 2 Monday night games are over, so we got plenty to talk about before those 2 games start. So let's start with the Thursday game that I didn't watch 1 second of. This game did not interest me in the slightest to watch. Dallas got the win 20-15, probably not a really impressive win. Dak Prescott had a good game, though. The rushing isn't good still for Dallas. This stat for Rico Dowdle doesn't... The rushing for Dallas continues to be pretty mediocre and just underwhelming. Part of the fact is they don't have a true number 1 running back. That's why it sucks. CeeDee Lamb cooked. Ferguson cooked. A touchdown for Rico Dowdle, though. CeeDee Lamb had a great 55-yard touchdown. Ferguson fumbled. Kendricks with 13 tackles, 1 sack from Lawrence, who was on IR, I think. And I'm pretty sure Parsons and Diggs are also injured for the Cowboys, so that's a lot of their defense right there. Amani with the interception on like a 4th down Hail Mary or something like that. Aubrey with 8 points, 3 punts for Enger. And now the Giants. Daniel Jones, these don't look like the worst stats. He did have a pick that I just mentioned. This rushing is absolutely garbage, though. Like 24 carries, 26 total yards. That's like 1 yard a carry. That's horrible. Malik Neighbors, the leading receiver, with 12 for 115. No touchdowns. Pretty sure he got a concussion, though, so that's just fantastic. MetLife Field sucks. Like, the turf, the whole field sucks. Wando Robinson cooked. A fumble for Tracy and a recovery for Manhurts. 8 tackles for Newman and McFadden. A sack for Thibodeau. Both teams got 1 total sack. No picks. Let's see. Greg Joseph with 15 points for the Giants. All of their points. You can't win games if you don't get in the end zone. And shockingly, only 1 punt for Gillen. That is... I don't even know how. How did the Jets not win this game? At one point, Bo Nix had -7 passing yards, and you still couldn't win, Jets. What is wrong with you guys? Bo Nix had one of the worst games ever, but the Broncos still won somehow. Williams had a good game. McLaughlin had a good game. God dang Tyler Batty, however you say his name. He had a scary medical episode on the sideline. When I think he might have got paralyzed for a brief moment. I don't know. But all I know is it was scary. Courtland Sutton was this receiving core, pretty much. He had the only touchdown of this game. There was not one other touchdown for both teams besides Courtland Sutton scoring. Bidet lost a fumble, 10 tackles for Locke and Barton, a sack for Locke, a sack for Strand, a sack for Franklin Myers, who is a former Jet, I'm pretty sure, a sack for Benito, half sacks for Roach and Ellis, counting it all at 5 sacks on the day. No picks, 4 points for Lutz, 8 punts for Dixon. I'm pretty sure he had more punt yards than both these teams had combined offensive yards. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers. How do you have a stat line like this compared to that for Knicks? And you aren't the winning quarterback here. This rushing was garbage. Brees Hall, what is this? What is that? Mike Williams cooked. Lazard cooked. Wilson cooked. Even though he fumbled, a recovery for Carter, 11 tackles for Tony Adams, not 1 sack, not 1 pick, 9 points for Zerline, 7 punts for Morstead. Just one more time, how, New York? How do you have an offense like this, have your defense kick ass most of the game, and you don't win? The Vikings are really 4-0, huh? Jordan Love's first game back since week 1. Alright. Sam Darnold is the MVP right now. I don't care. I really don't care. He is the MVP right now. And it's weird if he continues to play like this. What do they do about him and McCarthy? That's for like 10 months from now, though. Aaron Jones cooked against his former team. Didn't score, though. Addison had a rushing touchdown. Jefferson had a one-handed touchdown catch. Addison had a receiving touchdown as well. Oliver got a touchdown. Fumbles from Darnold and Naylor. Bynum picked up one. 11 tackles for Cashman. A sack for Pat Jones. A pick for Shaquille Griffin in 2024. An interception for Kamu Grugier-Hill in 2024. And an interception for Byron Murphy Jr. I didn't even know Shaq Griffin was still playing football. That is music to my ears. 7 points for Reichard, 5 punts for Wright. Moving to the Packers. Jordan Love take away his 3 interceptions. That's a good stat line for your first game back in 3 weeks, but 54 passes in your first game back, I don't know about that. The rushing was pretty mid. Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Tucker Kraft, they all cooked. Kraft did fumble. Melton and Cooper picked up fumbles. 8 tackles for Walker with a sack for Nixon, and that's all. A pick for Xavier McKinney. Once again, he has had at least 1 interception in every game this season so far. That is crazy good. 3 points for Navarson, but he missed 2 field goals, and the Packers would have won if he didn't miss those 2 field goals, buddy. Are you on your way out already as well? I don't know. We land with 3 punts. The Saints finally came back to earth. They blew it to the Falcons. Derek Carr looked like I don't even know. Taysom Hill cooked for some reason. Alvin Kamara also cooked. Chris Olave cooked. Rashid Shaheed cooked. Kamara had some catches. Shaheed did fumble away a punt. No, he muffed a punt in the end zone or something like that, but it was a touchdown for the Falcons. I don't think they had 1 offensive touchdown, and they still won. Saints, come on. Paulson Adebo, 12 tackles, a sack for Turner. That's all. Adebo with an interception as well. 6 points for Gruppy, 3 punts for Hayball. For the Falcons, Kirk Cousins didn't even play the best game either, but he didn't really have to, because the Falcons defense did everything, and special teams. This rushing is horrible. Is Arthur Smith here again? What is this? What is this? Drake London cooked, Mooney cooked, McLeod cooked, Kyle Pitts. What's going on, man? Kirk Cousins fumbled, Hodge and Bergeron picked up fumbles. 17 tackles for Troy Anderson, just a casual 17 tackles, and he had a pick 6. D. Alford with a sack, and that's all. Yep, there's that pick 6. Koo with 14 points, including the game winner, and I think that 58-yard game winner was his longest field goal in his career, so round of applause for you. And 3 punts for Pinion. Philly, what's going on? Baker Mayfield is also him. This was kind of expected for me, at least, because Hurts didn't have his top 2 weapons for receiving, so it's understandable why they lost as bad as they did. Saquon Barkley had a good game. Hurts had another tush-push touchdown. Paris Campbell had the only receiving touchdown on the day. I'm surprised Dotson didn't do more when he was receiver 1 for this game. Dallas Goedert continues to be probably the most consistent tight end in football at this moment. Hurts fumbled twice. DeJean muffed a punt. Johnson recovered a fumble. 9 tackles for Slay. A sack for Brandon Graham. And a sack for Josh Sweat. And Bryce Huff, I'm pretty sure that's his first tackle as a Philadelphia Eagle. So wearing the number 0 is his way of showing his usefulness to this team. 0. He's done nothing. No picks. 2 points for Elliott. 5 punts for Mann. And Baker Mayfield. He is baking some good ass donuts right now. He is a great quarterback. Bucky Irving and Rachaad White had the same exact stat line, just Irvin scored a touchdown. Thank you. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans cooked, Otten cooked, god dang Sterling Shepard cooked in 2024. Alright, Mayfield did fumble. Every fumble was picked up by this list of people though. David had 8 tackles and 2 sacks. Nelson, Vita Vea, Logan Hall had sacks. A sack for Yaya Diaby. 6 total sacks on the game. No picks, surprisingly. 9 points for McLaughlin, 4 points for Gill. The Red Rifle could not get revenge. The Bengals get their first win of the season, and it only took until week 4 against the Panthers to get your first win. That's embarrassing. I don't care. They win by 10 though. Joe Burrow, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Alright. Chase Brown and Zach Moss cooked. The rushing is finally getting together. The offense is actually still producing a lot. It's just their defense that's been losing recently for the Bengals. Jamar Chase's 63-yard touchdown. Like, no one wanted to tackle for the Panthers. A reporter asked him if he was wearing baby oil or something. I don't think that's the most appropriate time to ask that with the whole Diddy stuff going on. So, okay. Zach Moss had a receiving touchdown at like the very last second of the first half, I think. No fumbles, 10 tackles for Pratt. Not 1 sack on the day. Von Bell with a pick. 10 points for McPherson, 3 punts for Reckow. Andy Dalton, he's still cooking for the Panthers. He did throw a pick. Chuba Hubbard is looking pretty good so far this season. Deontay Johnson had a nice day. Leggett had his first career touchdown, so good job for him. No fumbles, 10 tackles for Woods. Not 1 sack was even in this game. Wow. Xavier Woods with an interception as well. 6 points for Pinheiro and 2 punts for Hecker. I think some firings need to happen in Jacksonville, like, now. Texans get their 3rd win on the season at home against Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, he didn't look horrible in this game. It's just this offensive line is still just not good. Tank Bigsby was cooking. He had a 58-yard run, which whoever tackled him or got him out of bounds saved this game for the Texans. Etienne had a productive day. Brian Thomas cooked. Christian Kirk cooked amid all these trade rumors that he's in, which honestly, trade him for whatever you can get him for, I think, at this point. Lawrence fumbled. Thomas and Etienne picked up fumbles. Ventrell Miller, 11 tackles. A sack for Ledbetter and a sack for Harris. No picks. 8 points for Little. 5 punts for Cook. Alright, Stroud, you need to start getting on Sam Darnold's level so you can be the MVP, even though you had a better stat line this week. C.J. Stroud still cooking, though. Cam Akers got the starting gig at running back because Mixon is injured still. Nico Collins cooked. Stephon Diggs cooked. Dare Ogunbowale got the game-winning receiving touchdown against his former team, so good for him on that. Sims lost a fumble. 2-0-2-0 with 7 tackles. A sack for Murray, and that's all. No picks. Fairbairn with 6 points and 6 punts for Townsend. Fields had probably his best game of his career, and the Steelers lost. Alright. 24-27, the Steelers get their first loss of the season. Justin Fields had a great day with what he could do behind that offensive line, which it wasn't pretty for the Steelers. Fields, 312, a touchdown. 2 touchdowns on the ground and 55 rushing yards. 3 total touchdowns on the day. Najee Harris, I said this in a few group chats I'm in for football. He is just a slightly slimmer Eddie Lacy. That's what I think of him right now. Pickens cooked. Freiermuth cooked. Harris, was productive on the air, through the air at least. Fields fumbled twice. Lost 1, recovered 1. Pickens lost a fumble at the 3-yard line, so right when they're about to score, he coughed the ball up. 12 tackles for Elliott, half a sack for Larry, a sack for Hayward, half of a sack for Bishop, and that's all. No picks. 6 points for Boswell and 3 punts for Waitman. Joe Flacco, that old fart, still has something in the tank at age like 15,000, something like that. Also, Anthony Richardson, I'm getting really concerned about his NFL career. He did this last year, got injured early in the season, came back and in the same game, then got injured again, was out for the rest of the game. Like, dude, learn to slide. Learn how to slide. The Colts, you might need to get him a slip and slide or something. I don't understand. Like, why is it so hard for him to slide? But whenever Flacco came into the game, he led the Colts to a victory and still looks freaking good at age actually like 39 or whatever. Taylor cooked. Pittman had his first good game of the season. Josh Downs cooked. Ogletree had a 15-yard touchdown. Richardson fumbled, and these three picked up fumbles. 13 tackles for Speed. Half a sack for Blackman. 1 sack for Lamons. 1.5 for Deo. Half a sack for Stewart and Lewis. 4 total sacks. No picks. 9 points for Matt Gay. And 4 punts for Sanchez. Bears take down the Rams 24-18. Very close game. Matt Stafford, he still finds ways to be really productive without, like, real threatening offensive weapons outside of Kyren Williams. He had the Rams in it all game till the end. Kyren Williams had a great game, though. Tutu Atwell cooked. Whittigan cooked once again. Stafford did lose a fumble. Roseboom with 11 tackles, a sack for Lake, a sack for Fisk, a sack for Hoke, and that's all for the sacks. No picks. 12 points for Carty and 1 punt for Evans. Caleb Williams, he looked good. DeAndre Swift, amid all these talks about him being horrible and him losing his starting job to Roschon Johnson, he said no and had this stat line. Johnson also scored. Swift was the leading receiver as well. DJ Moore, his first touchdown with Caleb Williams at home. Great sight for the Bears fans. And it was a great touchdown as well. Back at the middle of the end zone in a toe tap. Good job. Caleb Williams fumbled and these two picked up fumbles. 12 tackles for Brisker, a sack, and the game-clinching interception. A sack for Dexter and Sweat as well. Yep, there's the interception. 6 points for Santos and 5 punts for Taylor. The Commanders kick the living piss out of the Cardinals, 42-14. Jaden Daniels, the Commanders got their franchise quarterback. Oh my gosh, this guy is so fun to watch. I can't stop talking about him. Not to take another shot at Anthony Richardson, but I feel like Jaden Daniels is how Anthony Richardson fans wish he would play. I don't know if that would really count as a stab at him, but I think that's kind of the truth. Jaden Daniels threw his first interception of his career, though, sadly. Every person that rushed for the Commanders on Sunday had touchdowns, and the total rushing, oh my, that is just greatness right there. Zacchaeus cooked, McLaurin cooked again. They got him another touchdown. Luvu picked up a fumble. B-Wags and Chin with 10 plus tackles each. Wagner with half a sack. Luvu with half a sack for Allen, 1.5 for Armstrong, half a 1 for Payne. 4 total sacks on the day. No picks. Seibert with 10 points and 1 punt for Trestway. Their first punt since week 1. That's crazy, I know. Kyler Murray, I mean, his offensive line wasn't great, so he was having to run around like almost every play. He was still able to have a decent stat line. James Conner had a great game, though. Trey Benson was getting some action. Marvin Harrison continues to cook. Michael Wilson and Dortch have decent games. And then just the holy grail of fumbles. Benson, Dallas, Wilson fumbled. These two picked up fumbles, and Wilson lost a fumble. 14 tackles for Budda Baker. Also, Cardinals, you need to trade him to a team that's actually good. Like, don't make him rot in hell for his whole career. Come on. No sacks on the day. A pick for Williams. 2 points for Prater and 4 punts for Gillikin. Niners get their second win of the season, beating the Patriots' butt 30-13. Jacoby Brissett, another game of him just getting absolutely destroyed and having like that much time to actually make a play. It's bad. Stevenson has a big fumbling issue, I've noticed. He's fumbled at least once every game so far this season, that's not a good look for you. You got a pretty decent contract before the season as well, so you got to hang on to that football, man. Gibson was the leading receiver, a touchdown for Hooper. 3 fumbles for Brissett. It's bad. Yep, Stevenson with the fumble. 7 tackles for McMillan and Peppers. A sack for Dietrich Wise. And that's all. An interception for Peppers. 7 points for Sly and 4 punts for Behringer. Now the Niners, Purdy cooked through a pick though. Jordan Mason continues to just be like one of the best running backs in football, to like be front and honest. Juwan Jennings cooked for a second straight week, not equivalent to last week, but still had a pretty good stat line. George Kittle mossed 3 guys for his touchdown, looking like Randy Moss out there, like literally. The top 4 guys cooked in the receiving aspect. 2 fumbles for Purdy, 1 for Isaac, whatever his name is, and then 3 guys recovering fumbles. Jair Brown with 8 tackles, a sack for Bosa, 2.5 for Gibbons, 1.5 for Collins, 1 for Anderson for 6 on the day, and Fred Warner with a pick 6. And I guess Madden is sort of realistic, because how they have him jumping in the air in the game, he proved that's real in real life, so good for him. And I hate to say it, but Fred Warner has been the best linebacker in football for the past 4 or 5 seasons. He is an unbelievable player, but I hate to admit it because he's a 49er. Moody was 12 points and 3 punts for Wisnowski. Alright, the Raiders take down the Browns. I don't even know what to think about the Browns anymore. Deshaun Watson, he didn't have the worst day ever. The rushing, it's not really the best still. Nick Chubb is going to come back soon, though, I heard, so hopefully he could play the same as he normally does. Jerry Jeudy somehow was cooking, though. Amari Cooper had a touchdown taken away from him on the ticky-tackiest holding call I've seen in a little while. The only touchdown came from Blake Whiteheart, like a second or third string tight end. Good job. Watson fumbled, recovered 1, same with McLeod, or however you say his name. 9 tackles for JOK, 2 sacks for Garrett, and that's all. No picks. 4 points for Hopkins, 5 punts for Corey. And Gardner Minshew, he barely had to do much. I mean, the whole Raiders team barely had to do much. But the rushing they had a lot of rushers. DJ Turner had the sole rushing touchdown. Madison and White cooked a little bit. Jacoby Myers cooked. That's about it. Oh, wait. Trey Tucker also had a rushing touchdown. Zamir White lost a fumble. Spillane, once again, the leading tackler with 12. And a sack for Isaiah Polamalu. A sack for Snowden. Half a sack for Wilkins and Robinson, counting 3 on the day. Trayvon Moehrig with 1 interception. And let's see, 8 points for Carlson and 4 punts for Cole. Chargers are just back to being mid as well. The Chiefs go to 4-0. They take down the Chargers 17-10 in SoFi. Mahomes took out Rashee Rice's ACL. Good job, buddy. You are now down Rashee Rice for the season and Marquise Brown. So at least he got Worthy because he's looking great still. Kareem Hunt in his first game back as the Chiefs running back. Pretty good stat line. The touchdown for rushing came from Pirine. Kelsey finally had his first good game of the season. Xavier Worthy had a great touchdown. Steele lost another fumble. 10 tackles for Tranquil. 2 sacks for Jones. No interceptions. Butker with 5 points and 4 punts for Matt Ariza. Justin Herbert, he didn't look the best on Sunday. There was actually a clip of him banging his helmet against the Chargers sideline, which that's like one of the first times I've ever actually seen him get pissed off, so that's just playing for the Chargers for you. The rushing wasn't good. J.K. Dobbins hasn't really had a good game since week 2, and that sucks. McConkey, I think, his first career touchdown. Bravo to you, buddy, and that was pretty much the offense. Fumble for Fulton and Herbert, and 2 guys picked up fumbles. 8 tackles for Perriman and Molden. Half a sack for Still and Troy Dye. 2 sacks for Bud Dupree. Interception for Fulton. 4 points for Dicker and 6 punts for Scott. Baltimore meant business on Sunday night. They beat Buffalo bloody. I got this game so wrong. Josh Allen could not do anything. His offensive line's just bad. The rushing was also not good. Ty Johnson got the only touchdown for the Bills. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid had productive days, and outside of that, literally nothing. Allen lost a fumble. Brandon fumbled and got it back. Spector recovered a fumble. 12 tackles for Williams, a sack for Spector, and that's all. No interceptions. 4 points for Tyler Bass. 6 points for Sam Martin. Every time Derrick Henry plays the Bills, I should probably just pick the team he's on, because he just always owns Buffalo. We'll get to that, though. Lamar Jackson had a great game, both through the air and on the ground. God dang, Derrick Henry was 1 yard away from his 7th 200-yard rushing game in his career. If he didn't fumble in the end zone, he would have got it. But just his first carry of the game, and he took it 87 yards to the house. He is the Buffalo killer besides Kansas City in the playoffs. It's unreal. This rushing is just absolutely unbelievable. And then Justice Hill was the leading receiver. Like, outside of him, nothing for the Ravens receiving. I mean, Derrick Henry got his first receiving touchdown since 2019. I kind of wish they would have let him throw in a touchdown so we can have the triple crown of the day. Jackson fumbled, lost it. Henry fumbled. Ricard picked up the fumble for a touchdown in the end zone. Hamilton picked up a fumble. 7 tackles for Hamilton as well. 2 sacks for Kyle Van Noy, a sack for Odafe Owe. Fun fact about Kyle Van Noy, every game so far this season, I'm pretty sure he's had 2 sacks in all of them. That's crazy, and no one's talking about it. That's even crazier. No picks. Tucker with 5 points and 4 punts for Stout. Alright, both Monday games are over. I'll get to my rant in a little bit, but let's go over this shit show first that it looked like. Dolphins still can't win a football game without Tua. They are, 1-9, 1-10 without him? That's great. Speaking of great, Will Levis is so good at football. He's had another just great turnover this week. Threw it to a D lineman in coverage, I'm pretty sure. And then got himself injured. Good job, Will Levis. So at least you saved yourself from another horrible game. But hey, the Titans actually won a game finally. Only took Mason Rudolph having the elite stat line he had to help you guys win. I didn't really watch any of this game after Levis's injury, so whatever. The rushing was good, it looked like. Pretty much got your guys' only source of points. Your leading guys were Hopkins and Boyd with the exact same stat line, 2 for 31. Key got a fumble at the beginning of the game, in the first quarter. 9 tackles for Murray. Sebastian Joseph Day with a sack. Harold Landry with a sack. No interceptions, shockingly. 17 points from your kicker. Your kicker scored more than the Dolphins. Okay. 5 punts for Stonehouse. Alright, Tyler Huntley's debut with the Dolphins. Wasn't pretty. He did lead his guys in rushing. I don't know what's up with Achane right here. But Huntley did score a touchdown. Waddle was the only productive weapon you guys had. Huntley lost a fumble. Good job. Brooks with 13 tackles and a sack. And that's all. Ogba with an interception. Yep. 6 points for Sanders. That is half of your points. Good job. And 5 punts for Bailey. Yeah, get to talk about this game now, whatever. Seattle loses their first game of the season. You know, when all four of our starting D linemen were confirmed to be out, I knew for a fact we weren't going to win this game. So I'm not as annoyed as I would be. But the Lions, judging, like, if you're just looking at the score and you thought this game was close, it really wasn't. We had a lot of garbage time points. Kenneth Walker, first game back, he cooked. Geno Smith, take away his garbage time interception at the end. He cooked all night long with what he could with our horrible offensive line. DK Metcalf cooked, Lockett cooked, Jackson cooked. Only cooking Lockett sucked at was his pass interference on that fourth down. Barner scored his first NFL touchdown. Congrats to him. DK Metcalf fumbled on one of our first drives of the game. That was fantastic. Dodson with 10 tackles, a sack for Reed, a sack for Hall, a sack for Draymond. No interceptions. 3 points for Myers, 3 punts for Dixon. Jared Goff. There was not one incompletion by a Lion in this game. 19 for 19 in total. Goff killed us, and he also caught a touchdown against us, so that's great. 3 touchdowns for him on the day. We couldn't stop a running back one bit. Jameson Williams put a torch in our defense. Laporta broke through our defense. St. Brown cooked. Yep, Jared Goff with a touchdown. That's always great. Carlton Davis got a fumble early in the game. 9 tackles for Joseph, a sack for Rodriguez, a sack for Reeder, half a sack for McNeil and Levi. Kirby Joseph with an end zone interception at the end of the game. 6 points for Bates, 3 punts for Jack Fox. You know, if we could have a healthy defense for our game against the Giants next week, that would be fantastic. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you'll never miss an upload. I will see you in the next video. Go Hawks!